It became a burden to me trying to balance my personal life and the public life. And I figured it was time for me to just step up and be back to who I actually am or was for my very own reasons. All these people are saying that I'm taking my religion as a game, which I don't think is fair for them to be judging that way. And I have received a lot of hateful comments almost everywhere on the social media. Never mind about what people think. If you start paying attention to it and letting it get to you, that's when you start to have doubts. Negative opinions are just barriers to where you want to get to. I'm trying to stay strong, and I'm not really moved by it, not even 1%, I guess, because I know I'm doing this not for anybody but for me and my life in the long run. Just because I'm going through a difficult time, I know for a fact that it won't last forever. Have the right people in your life and, the ones who will support you no matter what. I'm Nina Iskandar, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hello.
Nina, Chris Williams in the U.S. How are you?
Yes, hi, Chris Williams. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for your time today.
It's okay. It's my pleasure.
Well, it's a privilege to talk to you. It really is. I am. It's early in the morning here, just before school, about an hour before school, and I have my daughter with me today here, listening in. She's just super excited to be part of the conversation. Her name is Allie.
I see. Oh, hi, Ellie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well, fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What time do you start school?
I start at 7:15.
Oh, I see.
And it's about just after 6 o'clock here now. How about where you are?
Well, it's 12 hours different, so it's around 7 p.m. I haven't had dinner.
Okay. Well, we'll try to get you there quickly. How about that?
That sounds good.
All right. So, Nina, make sure I pronounce your name correctly. It's Nina Iskandar. Is that correct?
Nina Iskandar.
Iskandar. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful name. Nina Iskandar.
Thank you.
Well, let me give a short intro for you, and then I'll let you tell us more about you and what you're doing. And you probably got this document called Interview 101, I Share Hope. And it's got the list of questions. Excellent. Okay.
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll give a quick intro, and I follow that script pretty well, pretty tightly, question 1 through 5, and then you'll notice at right after question 5, I'll ask how we can contact you. That'd be Facebook, social media, all those sorts of things. And then I'll kind of step away from the traditional interview. We'll cut this portion out where that quote section is, and that's where we get a quote from you about your name and I Share Hope, or some quote that we can start the episode with. And then after that, I might have a list of random questions. Just, people love the details of what you just said, and what did you mean by that? And I'll ask more questions at that point if we have any.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Very good. Well, Nina Iskandar, I am thrilled to have you today here on I Share Hope, sharing hope with so many people around the world. You've risen to stardom in Malaysia and in Brunei, where you're from, and I'm sure in many other places. I know who you are, and I'm all the way across the globe. You're starring in movies, TV shows, and so many other media places. It's really fun to watch your career move forward. You're truly a movie star. It's a privilege to talk to you. Thank you for being here. Tell us more about what you're doing now on stage, and what are you doing just in life? What's going on?
Okay. To be honest with you, as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm on a break. I've been on a break since January, and I'm going back to Malaysia next month because I have another project, and also a capsule for Watson's Malaysia.
Wow.
So I'm just taking a break and enjoying every moment of it because I'm in my comfort zone in Brunei. Well, for the past few months, I haven't really done anything, but
you deserve a break.
Yes, I do deserve a break, I think. Well, last month, a new drama was aired on TV3. It's some channel, a Malaysian channel. It's quite big. So that was around 21 episodes, but that just finished. And last year I did about 4 movies in a row.
Wow.
And a lot of dramas as well. I think I've done around 8 dramas for the whole 2.5 years I've been in the industry in Malaysia. So for me, although I think there may be a lot of other people doing better than me, but I think for me, coming from Brunei, I think that's still great.
Oh, no, you're tremendous. No matter where you're from, you're tremendous. Thanks for sharing, honestly, your life and so much of you on set. It's incredible what you do in your career, in your occupation, your profession, that really brings a lot of story and emotion and heart and patterns for people, and it's really great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, Nina, you know how this works. We ask each guest 5 questions about hope, and you answer them however you like. So I'm going to jump into question 1, and I'm just thrilled that we get to learn from you today. So question number 1, how do you define hope, or what is your favorite hope quote?
Okay, I consider myself as a quote junkie. I like to search for quotes and whatever that's relevant to my life. So the one hope quote that actually captured my attention would be, all it takes is one bloom of hope to make a spiritual garden. I think I swear by that by that quote, because I think it's one of the truest sayings, and it's the most relevant to to everything in life. So why is that? Because I feel like we need hope to live. Without hope, we wouldn't have been able to move on and go through life's obstacles. Because frankly, I think hope keeps us strong. It is a source of positivity and strength. That's my view on hope.
That's beautiful. One bloom of hope is all it takes to grow a spiritual garden. I probably didn't say it as eloquently as you did, but that's so true. And you're right, we can't live without it.
That is true. Yep.
Wow, love it. So based on that definition or that quote, who's given you the most hope in life?
I would say a few people, but I would say my significant other has given me hope in so many ways. I've known him for almost 6 years, and I'm almost 24 now. So you can imagine the things that we have gone through while growing up together and trying to find ourselves. I'm still trying to find myself now, but he's helped me to open my mind to life as a whole. So, I'm prone to making silly decisions, and I've done a lot of mistakes as part of my growing, but I believe that if I hadn't met him, life would have been different. It would have been dull and boring. And in him, I find a hope. And with that hope, it's what keeps me going. He has the most impact on my life.
That's really wonderful. I sure hope he's getting to listen to this.
Yeah, I hope he will. Anyway, besides him, I would say my mother, because the fact that she's stuck by my side through thick and thin and through my happiest and most depressing moments. How can you not find hope in that, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're so right. It's a great example from both of those people, your significant other, as you call him, and your mom. I don't want to put any more labels on the relationships, but those two really are really great examples, and particularly in, you're very young, and I mean that respectfully in a good way. You've done a lot in your 23 plus years, almost 24, and that means a lot of growing and a lot of changing and going through different seasons of life, probably faster than most people do, and it can be pretty traumatic.
Yeah, and I don't know, I feel like I've been going through so much for a 23-year-old living in Brunei.
I bet you have. Well, let's talk more about any of those stories you'd like to. In question number 3, it's how have you used hope to make it through a difficult time in your life? Kind of take us back to a place and a time. Tell us the stories of what's going on and how you've used hope.
Okay, how about I tell you a story of when I was 11 years old, and I'll tell you a story now. So I'm going to tell you 2 stories.
Great.
So, all right, the first story was when I was 11 years old. See, I was born with a congenital heart block. So that means that my heart isn't as strong as the other normal human beings. So my heartbeat would go as low as 30 to 40 heartbeats per minute, or however you call it. So when I was 11 and we were just shopping, me and my mom, and we were in the car, and all of a sudden my mom noticed that I was being really weird, like strange. My breathing, which was just, it was as if I was drowning and trying to breathe for air. So then she turned to look at me, and I was all blue. Like my lips were just blue, and I was just really pale. And she started, all I could remember at that point in time was her screaming for me to just open my eyes and for me to just, say a little bit of, recite a few of the Quranic verses with her, since, I'm a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried my best to, at that time, I thought I was dreaming. I dreamt of this really beautiful place. I was walking on the side of the road alone, and there was just sunset, and I was just walking. I was just walking, and then I heard voices of people calling me back and stuff. So then I tried my best to open my eyes, and then I did, and I saw my mom. She was, her face was just right there, like in front of me, and she was just crying. She was sobbing, and she was begging for me to just stay with her, and I tried my very best. And then I tried to stay with her for a few times, and then they rushed me to the hospital at the emergency department, and I was there. And I don't really know how to say that. How do you call that thing where you if somebody has a heart attack and you go like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, clear.
That's the defibrillator, where they shock your heart back into life.
Yes, okay, that did that. They did that to me 5 times.
No way.
Apparently. Yeah. And like all my family members were just there, like crying. They thought I was gone. And honestly, I was young, so I didn't really know what was happening. I couldn't really remember. But apparently they did that 5 times. And then what I can remember is me waking up in a hospital bed, and I had a temporary pacemaker implanted on my groin.
Wow.
So then, the next day, they rushed me to Singapore with a stretcher. So they operated me, and I have a pacemaker, like now, a permanent pacemaker. So
Really?
I've had that since I was 11 years old, yep.
Wow.
So, the doctor, not everybody knows that, so... So the doctor was telling me, since you're on pacemaker, you're different. You can't really do anything like the normal people do. You can't play basketball. You have to quit because that time I took swimming lessons. So that he's like, you have to quit your swimming lessons. You have to rest a lot. You have to quit your religious school and stuff, because I had religious classes like after my normal class in the morning. So they were like, you can't really do a lot of exercises and stuff. You can't go on the roller coaster. So that kind of bothered me. Like I was crying because I wanted my old life back. Like I just wanted to be normal. So when I didn't go to school for like a month plus because I was in Singapore. And when I came back, the people were making fun of me. They would call me names such as robot and stuff, like you're not even real and stuff,
Wow.
You have battery inside you, so you have metal inside you, you're not human being, you're not real, you're a robot. Like it got to me, like I will always come back from school and cry. And my parents would always make sure that I would be assured. I mean, my parents would always try to assure me that I was a special kid and I was different from everyone and I shouldn't be upset about something. So since then, like, I would always find, I said, there must be a reason why I'm still living. There must be, you know, God gave me a second chance to live. There has to be something out there, you know. So, yeah, here I am. I'm still trying to figure that one out, but life is good.
Oh, no. I'm so glad you're still here. So even in, you're 11 or 12. I mean, that's the middle school range when everybody's kind of at this weird stage and everybody's insecure. And what a hard time to get ridiculed, and a great time to have support from mom around.
Yeah.
Tell me the other time. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the other story, which is now.
Yeah.
Okay, as we are speaking right now, Chris, to be honest with you, I am going through a difficult time in my life.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a controversy going around in my country and in Malaysia, where I'm working at, about the whole issue of me and my image changing from being all covered up back to my previous free hair image. I mean, fine, I caused the whole thing, I created the controversy, but I guess I just thought that I wasn't ready to keep up with being all covered up and being somebody I actually am not for the public. I mean, I'm tired of having I'm tired of having to balance it's such a, how do I say this? You know, it became a burden to me trying to balance my personal life and the public life. And I figured it was time for me to just step up and be back to who I actually am or was for my very own reasons, which only me and maybe my family and, you know, God knows.
Right.
I mean, because all these people are saying that I'm taking my religion as a game, which I don't think is fair for them to be judging that way. But yeah, because I admit last year I rushed into it. I announced it to the public. I made it official that I would be covered up, not thinking it through, though, whether I am genuinely ready by 100%. So now the public is furious, and I have received a lot of hateful comments almost everywhere on the social media, especially Facebook and Instagram. But I'm trying to stay strong, and I'm not really moved by it, not even 1%. I guess because I know I'm doing this not for anybody but for me and my life in the long run. Yeah, I have my aims, Chris, and dreams which I have yet to achieve. I mean, I'm here wherever I am, but I feel like there are also a lot of things that I need to achieve. I wouldn't say that I have succeeded, nor have I failed. I just took a detour in my life, and I guess I'm just trying to get back on track. I mean, I have my beliefs, and it doesn't mean that I am a bad person. Do you think I'm a bad person?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I don't think I'm a bad person as the public is now thinking I am, but honestly, I just had to rethink about everything in my life, my choices and what I do and stuff, and I don't expect anybody to understand because I know there is one God, and I believe He's the most understanding and all merciful. So just because I'm going through a difficult time, I know for a fact that it won't last forever. And I know what I want and where I want to be in my life. I have my ambitions, and that gives me hope to keep my chin up high, even though, through difficult times like these, you just gotta have to have the right people in your life, and, the ones who will support you no matter what.
Well said. I'm so glad you're keeping your chin up, and I really do think that there are so many things that we learn as we grow, and some of these things, particularly those really personal beliefs, they have to come from within you, because nobody can be you and nobody can believe for you. You have to find those things, and you have to track those things down and wrestle with them yourself and make them your own.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. Which I'm doing now, like if I don't act on it now, then I'll always feel stuck. until whenever. Like, I feel like I'll always be miserable because they're not letting me live my life however I want it to.
You know, one thing, I'm not that much older than you, although I probably am, really. But I sure don't want to think I am. I'm only 38, but I guess when I add it up, that's a decent amount older. But Allie's here with me, you know, my daughter, and she's one of 5 of our children, and we tell them a lot to think and work hard. And I think you're thinking hard in that process of thinking about what you're doing and wrestling with it and having to go up against opposition. It really challenges what you're doing and strengthens where you'll end up. That's great.
That's true.
Thank you for sharing both of those stories of what you're going through now and in the past, and how you're really gaining hope and strength from the people around you, even though some of the people around you in both stories are not very hopeful. You still have the strength. Question 4, Nina, how are you sharing hope today? What are you doing on a daily basis to share hope with other people?
On a daily basis, if you want to know what I do, I don't really do anything, so I don't think I'm giving it up to anybody on a daily basis.
I think you're doing more than you think you are.
Well, I do, you know, like nowadays, since I've been in Brunei, I've been posting a lot of all these foodie pictures of what I eat and stuff, so maybe that's giving hope for people to eat.
You know, someone in your position, Nina, honestly, you've got so many people following what you're doing. Those fun little pictures, and I've looked at your Instagram and Facebook, and you have some beautiful pictures of food, by the way. You're really good at taking pictures of food. Some of those...
you follow me? I didn't know that.
I'm looking at... Actually, Allie and I are looking at your Instagram account right now.
I see.
Yeah. So... you doing those things brings smiles and energy and passion and so much to people's lives, because there is a lot of young women, I'm sure, who are watching what you're doing very closely. And even though it's just a dessert or just a meal that you're taking a picture of, there's still a lot more of you there that they can read about and know about. So congratulations.
I hope so.
All right, question 5 then. Tell me and Allie here with me, how can we grow in hope personally, or how can we start sharing hope with other people around us, either at her age, which is right around the same age that you were when you had that heart issue first spring up, or as an adult, how can I start sharing hope? What are some simple things I can do when she goes to school or when I go to work?
Okay, I think for my sense it's more relevant if I spoke about what I'm doing now.
Sure.
And how I'm giving hope to people. So being the first Bruneian to join the international, or frankly Malaysian industry, and making it to the big screen, surely I've inspired many other locals in my country. If there's one thing that you should know about the people in Brunei, they've got talent. But I mean, besides them having talent and stuff, but I don't think the showbiz is getting anywhere. So, because I feel like our showbiz industry is limited, to build a name and be recognized for your talent, you've got to just take the courage, spread your wings, and fly. You know, the start of my journey, I've made it obvious to the public nothing is impossible. So first, you should really try to find deep within you what your passion is or what your dream is that you've always had. Second is just to believe in yourself and believe that you'll be there. But in order to be there, don't be afraid to do something that you've never done before. You know, you have to step out of your comfort zone and work hard for it. Never mind about what people think. You know, if you start paying attention to it and letting it get to you, that's when you start to have doubts. So you have to remember also that negative mindsets or negative opinions are just barriers to where you want to get to. We can also start to help people to grow in hope today by focusing on being the right person, if you get what I mean, by evoking the positive energy. I mean, this in a way will give hope to the others to be good as well. You know, like, if you're good inside out, you'll never engage to cyberbullying. So with this, you'll attract the right people and would live in a positive environment. And I think that that's easier to pursue anything if you have the right environment and the right people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are great steps and great points. So I'm going to roll back through those real quick. You're saying find that passion within you, really know what you're after and go after it, and then believe in yourself, believe that you can do it. And that's super important because so many of us are probably our own worst critics. We think it could be the outside, but it's really our self-talk that's saying, oh, I probably can't.
Yeah.
But then pursuing being that great person and being the encourager and being the one who's motivating yourself and others, you're right, it really does bring out the best in others. And a lot of the quote-unquote cyberbullying that you may even be experiencing right now with your choices, those things fade away, and if you keep being that positive person, the other positive people will continue to gather around you. And that's right, because I feel like energy is contagious, so you have to be careful of what you are. Yeah, and it's so important. I'm so glad you're saying this, because there's so many younger people who look up to you, and social media right now is wonderful. We all have a lot of fun on it, but it's super important that we're careful with how we're treating people there, just like we do when we see them face to face, and honestly even more so because more people see it. Yeah, that's great, Nina. Wonderful. So people are watching you from all over the world. Anybody who's new
Is it live right now?
No, it's not live right now.
Oh, I see.
But people in a month or so, maybe 2 months, it's somewhere in that range. We do the editing and get it back out. We have a great group of people who are actually another wonderful Malaysian who's going to be coming up here on the queue soon.
Really? Who?
Yes. Oh, wow. I don't know if I should announce it yet. She's so wonderful.
Is she same profession as I am, or?
She's not the same profession as you. So let's go for this. It's Marina Matahir. She's there in Malaysia. I don't know if you know who she is.
Oh, no, I don't.
She is a wonderful...
She sounds really interesting.
She is. You'll love finding out more about her. She's a wonderful person there in Malaysia, and she's done an enormous amount of work for AIDS and healing people and giving a lot of prevention work. And in so many other communities, she's been very, very active.
But, okay, Chris, if you don't mind me asking you now, how do you find all these people from different countries?
That's a great question, and I'm really glad you're asking all these questions because they're fun to answer, and it gives people background as well. So what we're doing is a research project. This is originally a research project, not as much a podcast, but it's become part of that because it was worth sharing. We're asking 1,000 leaders around the world who are leaders in hope these 5 questions about hope, and finding out what the world believes about hope and how they actually use hope to make their communities a better place. So we're literally this is a global project. So every 8 million people on the planet, for instance, this is the easiest way to think of it, every group of 8 million people get one representative to equal the 1,000 that represents the world. So I really appreciate you being in so many categories that we're looking into, both in every walk. So you're obviously in the media a lot. You're an actress, very much a movie star. You're in Malaysia. You're from Brunei, a woman. There's all these things that you are that are part of the survey, and you're filling some really great roles in helping us here. So thank you very much. How can people... Go ahead.
How can you... Sorry?
I was going to ask how people can follow you, but you go first.
I don't know, like, I admire what you're doing right now, like this project of yours. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that, listening to all the interviews would actually give them hope. So that's the whole purpose, right? I mean, that's really good.
This started from me just going through really tough, dark times in my life, and some people telling me wisely, and I'm glad they did, Chris, you need to start pursuing other people who have hope and learning from them. So I started doing that, and then it became obvious that there was a lot of hope out there to learn from and gather. And so I'm so grateful to you and so many others for sharing with me and everybody who's listening along with me. We're all here learning together.
Yeah.
All right, so
thank you, Chris, for having me.
Oh, thank you. How can we get in touch with you, Nina? How can we follow you? Social media, your website? Where do we track you down?
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm quite active there. You can follow me at Nina Iskandar, or my fan club, Phenomenal. And you can follow my Twitter, although I'm not that active there. It's official Nina Isk, which is like official, NINAISK. And I have a few Facebook pages. You can just follow or like my Facebook page. It's Nina Iskandar or Phenomenal.
That's great. We'll definitely put all of that on the show notes page for this episode, or the episode info on our website, isharehope.com. And we'll share some pictures of you that are just fantastic, and then we'll share the links to these social media places and your website. And it'll be fun to have you there, and fun to share your story. So, Nina, this is the part where we step away just for a second from the true released interview and get a few quotes. So here's what we do. Every guest says, I'm, for me, I would say, I'm Chris Williams and I share hope. Or some people don't just say their name and I share hope. They say their name. So I'm Chris Williams. I'm the host of I Share Hope, and I share hope, like what they do. So I will be quiet, and you can say your name, whatever you want to, and I share hope.
Okay. Yeah, let's just keep this simple. I'm Nina Iskandar, and I share hope.
First time and perfect. Thank you. Okay. Well, Nina, one or two or three more quick questions that are just popping around in my head, because they always do. So you're doing all these shows. You said a bunch of shows in the past month or two. Are you literally memorizing scripts every day and then running back out there and delivering those lines and forgetting it and coming back and doing the next one? How does that work?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I don't really memorize my script. I used to do that, though, during my first year of filming. But I realized that, if you were to memorize something, it doesn't come out naturally, so it doesn't really show. It's not up to par with your emotion, with your expression or your emotions, because you're more trying to memorize the whole line. So as I gradually progress in the industry, I learned that it's just to understand. It's a matter of understanding the context and trying to deliver it your way, with your style, your character. That's how people pick up your energy that's been given out in the movie. So that's how people notice you. But because I'm not that fluent in Malaysian accent, like I still have that Bruneian accent. Both of the Bruneian and Malaysian accent, they're not the same. So, and sometimes I don't understand what I don't understand what the word is, because I would say that I would understand English more than I do with Malay. So, if I don't understand a particular thing, like I would ask the director, like I would tell him to show me how this is meant to be. So, we would practice before we film and stuff. We would rehearse the lines, and if it sounds funny, then I would say it in another way. So that's just how it is.
That's great.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot to keep in your head all day long and try to keep up with so many parts that you're playing. Okay, so you're in Brunei now. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And then, so you're looking around at all these other actors and actresses all over the world.
Yeah.
If you could act with anyone, be on the set with anybody out there, who would it be?
I probably would go for Matthew McConaughey.
Really? That's great.
Yeah, because I don't know, like he seems to have his very own, how do I say this? He has there's just something about him, let's just say it that way. Like I would love to act with him. That's
great. Well, if I get to interview him, I'll mention that you're looking forward to that day. And tell me, if you're needing to hear some music in your headphones and you just have to chill out and want to get some hope back in your mind and your heart, what are you going to listen to? Anything out there?
Okay, I was just, for the past few days, I've been listening to a lot of, do you know this, it's a very classic song, I'm sure you've heard of it, Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Absolutely.
Yes, that keeps me happy and positive.
You made Allie and I both giggle while we're thinking of that, so thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot the singer, but yeah, that's what I've been listening to, actually. I've been listening to that a lot.
It's going to be in my head all day long now.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Bobby McFerrin, that's him.
Nice. You got a good memory there. Excellent.
It makes me think of the fish.
What do you say?
It makes me think of the fish when we went to the lake.
Oh yeah. Here in the U.S. there's these fish that are plastic and they're hung on the wall. You've seen people that mount their hunting trophies or fishing trophies or whatever on the wall in their den or whatever. Well, they sell these fish that look real, but there's a little red button at the bottom of the trophy and they hang on your wall. And you press the button, all of a sudden the fish, you realize it's made out of rubber and it turns its head and starts singing "Don't Worry, Be Happy" right at you.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's great. I love it. In fact, shoot me your mailing address, and I will make sure that Amazon delivers a "Don't Worry, Be Happy" fish to your door.
Wow.
That'll be really fun. You'll be sorry you ever said that. Okay. Well, Nina, thank you so much for your time today.
So
it's been a privilege and so much fun. You're such a great person, a happy person to listen to and talk to. And we all have our days that are not so happy, but you're doing a great job muscling through those and sharing hope in the process. So thank you very much for your time.
Yes, I would like to say the same. Chris Williams, thank you so much for having me in this interview. It was such a pleasure to have to talk with someone out there. And honestly, when you sent me that email, I was excited. It's something new. And it's nice having Allie around as well.
I agree. Allie's great. She's great to have here. Well, Allie's got to get off to her day at school, and I know you have to get off to dinner.
Have a good day, Allie.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I do. I'm getting really hungry.
All right. Thank you, Nina.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the Top 10 Actions of Hope from World Leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hello.
Nina, Chris Williams in the U.S. How are you?
Yes, hi, Chris Williams. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for your time today.
It's okay. It's my pleasure.
Well, it's a privilege to talk to you. It really is. I am. It's early in the morning here, just before school, about an hour before school, and I have my daughter with me today here, listening in. She's just super excited to be part of the conversation. Her name is Allie.
I see. Oh, hi, Allie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well, fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What time do you start school?
I start at 7:15.
Oh, I see.
And it's about just after 6 o'clock here now. How about where you are?
Well, it's 12 hours different, so it's around 7 p.m. I haven't had dinner.
Okay. Well, we'll try to get you there quickly. How about that?
That sounds good.
All right. So, Nina, make sure I pronounce your name correctly. It's Nina Iskandar. Is that correct?
Nina Iskandar.
Iskandar. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful name.
Last year, I did about 4 movies in a row.
Wow.
And a lot of dramas as well. I think I've done around 8 dramas for the whole 2.5 years I've been in the industry in Malaysia. So for me, although I think there may be a lot of other people doing better than me, but I think for me, coming from Brunei, I think that's still great.
Oh, no, you're tremendous. No matter where you're from, you're tremendous. Thanks for sharing, honestly, your life and so much of you on set. It's incredible what you do in your career, in your occupation, your profession, that really brings a lot of story and emotion and heart and patterns for people, and it's really great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, Nina, you know how this works. We ask each guest 5 questions about hope, and you answer them however you like. So I'm going to jump into question 1, and I'm just thrilled that we get to learn from you today. So question number 1, how do you define hope, or what is your favorite hope quote?
It became a burden to me trying to balance my personal life and the public life. And I figured it was time for me to just step up and be back to who I actually am or was for my very own reasons. All these people are saying that I'm taking my religion as a game, which I don't think is fair for them to be judging that way. And I have received a lot of hateful comments almost everywhere on the social media. Never mind about what people think. If you start paying attention to it and letting it get to you, that's when you start to have doubts. Negative opinions are just barriers to where you want to get to. I'm trying to stay strong, and I'm not really moved by it, not even 1%. I guess because I know I'm doing this not for anybody but for me and my life in the long run. Just because I'm going through a difficult time, I know for a fact that it won't last forever. Have the right people in your life and, the ones who will support you no matter what. I'm Nina Iskandar, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today.
Across the globe, you're starring in movies, TV shows, and so many other media places. It's really fun to watch your career move forward. You're truly a movie star. It's a privilege to talk to you. Thank you for being here. Tell us more about what you're doing now on stage, and what are you doing just in life? What's going on?
Okay. To be honest with you, as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm on a break. I've been on a break since January, and I'm going back to Malaysia next month because I have another project, and also a capsule for Watson's Malaysia.
Wow.
So I'm just taking a break and enjoying every moment of it because I'm in my comfort zone in Brunei. Well, for the past few months, I haven't really done anything, but
you deserve a break.
Yes, I do deserve a break, I think. Well, last month, a new drama was aired on TV3. It's some channel, a Malaysian channel. It's quite big. So that was around 21 episodes, but that just finished. And
Nina Iskandar.
Thank you.
Well, let me give a short intro for you, and then I'll let you tell us more about you and what you're doing. And you probably got this document called Interview 101, I Share Hope, and it's got the list of questions. Excellent. Okay.
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll give a quick intro, and I follow that script pretty well, pretty tightly, question 1 through 5, and then you'll notice at right after question 5, I'll ask how we can contact you. That'd be Facebook, social media, all those sorts of things. And then I'll kind of step away from the traditional interview. We'll cut this portion out where that quote section is, and that's where we get a quote from you about your name and I Share Hope, or some quote that we can start the episode with. And then after that, I might have a list of random questions. Just, people love the details of what you just said, and what did you mean by that? And I'll ask more questions at that point if we have any.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Very good. Well, Nina Iskandar, I am thrilled to have you today here on I Share Hope, sharing hope with so many people around the world. You've risen to stardom in Malaysia and in Brunei, where you're from, and I'm sure in many other places. I know who you are, and I'm all the way across